Hi everyone, welcome back. So in the previous demo, we have seen how to work with the Azure SQL database, so which is a part of a relational database. Now we are going to see how to work with NoSQL databases. In fact, I'm just going to provide you the option called like how to work, what is this NoSQL is all about. Then we'll be moving into the very important database in Azure, which is nothing but the Cosmos DB. So when I talk about the NoSQL, so you people know the reason for NoSQL is right now priorly we used to work with structured data only, but now the volumes of data which we are going to get, it is completely unstructured, or it might be a semi-structure, and it is unpredictable. All right, if it is, in fact it is called as schema less, no more schema concepts. So we can expect one record will have id and name, another record might have id, name and age, another record might be having id, name and hobbies. So it doesn't have any structure, but the traditional relational database need to follow the schema, and the record should abide that particular rule, then only we can insert. As the data, the modern application, since it's produced a huge volumes of data, like the way in Facebook and all those stuff, we cannot expect that the user will give the data, or the users we can store the data in a structured manner. So RDBMS is not suitable for this, because RDBMS is designed to maintain the structured data up to a certain limit only. They will just restrict that, like in that particular node they will say this database size is this one. So especially when you are going for multiple node scalable, it is little tough, okay, especially when you are working with the RDBMS, because it is having a certain limit. We'll say that this is it might maximum of 2 GB in that particular what to say, like system in that node. So if we are going for scaling, it is little tough. Whereas NoSQL, since it is not following the schema, it is very easy to span across the multiple nodes. So NoSQL means it's a non-relational database management system. In this, NoSQL stands for not only SQL, and there are very many popular databases are there. Some of the important databases are MongoDB, HBase. In Amazon we have the DynamoDB. Just like the way we have in the Azure, we have Cosmos DB. In Amazon they have this DynamoDB, Cassandra, OrientDB, etc. And this NoSQL, if you see, it is getting, these are all the features of the NoSQL. It stores large volumes of structured, semi-structured and unstructured data, high performance, high scalability and high availability. These are the three principal features of the NoSQL. That's why it is so popular. And quickly we can do the iteration, and in fact it can follow the object orientation programming approach as well, so that it is very easy to use and it is flexible, and schemas are not fixed, it is dynamic, and we can very easily do this replication and auto sharding. So what is this auto sharding? Is a method for distributing the data across the multiple machines. So it is very easy for that. We can very quickly, we can replicate the database and we can distribute the data across the multiple machines, because it doesn't follow any schema. So these are all the features available in NoSQL. And when you're talking about the NoSQL databases, so this NoSQL is further classified into 4 major categories: key value pair, key value stores, column oriented databases, graph oriented databases and document oriented databases. So in this key value we have the Redis, Dynamo, React, whereas in the column oriented we have Cassandra, SimpleDB, HBase. In graph we have the OrientDB, Neo4j, Titan. In fact our Facebook is using this graph oriented database only. So document oriented we have the popular databases like MongoDB, CouchDB, Cosmos DB, etc. But when you're talking about this Cosmos DB, this is somewhat special. Why it is special? Because this database is NoSQL database which is created by Microsoft, which is created specifically for Microsoft Azure. So this Cosmos DB, first they started as a document DB. It's an evaluation of document DB, and the interesting part with this particular database is multi-model and multi-API. So first we'll discuss what is the evaluation of document DB. First they started, as I told to you, Microsoft Azure, they had their database for NoSQL, which is called as DocumentDB. So which is a scalable NoSQL document database with low latency, very quickly we can, the latency will be in a single digit in millisecond. So very fast it is. So from there it got evolved up, and multi-model, multi-API in the sense, no longer exclusively a document database. That's the advantage. If you see in the previous slide, I told you that it's coming under document orientation. Mainly it is document oriented, but it is not only document oriented, it also support table, graph and columnar with different way. For example, I can use the MongoDB API to, with that MongoDB API I can perform a CRUD operation. MongoDB is having an API to perform the CRUD operation, right? So I can use that API, or else I can use the Graph API. I can even use the Azure Stable API to write the code, and it also support everything. Columnar, graph and table in any model it supports. That's why it is called as multi-model and multi-API database. Virtually unlimited scale. How it can virtually, it can grow means this, the storage with server-side partitioning, all those stuff is very easy because it's not going to follow any schemas. And the last one is turnkey global distribution, means, and I can very easily, there is a, I forgot the word, okay, they used to call this as point and click control. Wherever you want to geo-replicate it, in the, they have provided a map. In the map you can just say that, okay, in this place I want a geo-replication. So that sort of feature is available, that they used to call it as turnkey global distribution. They have, it's nothing but point and click control over wherever your data needs to be geo-replicated. And another very interesting part with this Cosmos DB is it possible to use it locally? Means yes, this is possible. In Cosmos DB we have an option called Cosmos DB emulator, which emulates the Cosmos DB in a local development environment. Simply you need to install that emulator, and whatever we used to do with the Microsoft Azure platform, they can, the developer first they can practice it with the local one, same like our SQL Server. SQL Server with local database, first you will, because in the development we should not use the Azure databases. If you start using the Azure databases, it will incur the charges, right? When it goes to production, if you are using it, it makes sense. In the development we need to use a local database so that we can have that cost saving, right? So same way, if we are going with the Cosmos DB emulator, if you download and install it in your system, then it can be used in the local development environment, which is almost very similar to your Azure Cosmos DB in the cloud. So what is the advantage of the DB emulator? No need for Azure subscription, no need to have Azure Cosmos DB account. In fact, there is no need for internet connection. Okay, and that's what we can develop and test it locally, so incur no cost, and then once it is ready we can easily deploy it to the cloud. So this is the advantage of using the Cosmos DB emulator. So in my system I have already installed that Cosmos DB emulator. Let me try to open that Cosmos DB emulator. You can see this here. I have installed it. So right click, I have pinned it to the database. So this is a Cosmos DB. Once it is installed, you can see it in a notification icon. Okay, let me start that first. So when I click, it will start. So once started, you can see it in the quick launch as a notification icon. You can see it here. So this emulator is there. So along with that you have this Docker also is available. So once this Azure Cosmos DB emulator is available in your notification icon, just right click that and say Open Data Explorer. So when I click Open Data Explorer, it will just open the Azure Cosmos DB emulator. We can practice it with the URI. This is a primary key and this is a primary connection string, and whichever database you are going to work with. For example, I'm planning to work with .NET Core. Okay, they have given that MongoDB connectivity. Okay, this is a primary connection string, and they have given the sample database. For example, I want to work with .NET, so just pick up the .NET, and you can see that you can open and run a sample .NET application. So the beauty of Microsoft Azure is almost all the program samples are already available. You can just download that. Okay, let me just download it, and this is okay, it started, let it be. So I'm just trying to download that. Same way for Java, you can just download Node.js, we can download Python. They are providing the CRUD operation to work with the database. So I'm just trying to save this in my system, in the desktop, document db quickstart.net. Okay, let me just download it. Once downloaded, you can see it here. So right click, extract here. Okay, this is a quickstart.net. Inside this you have the project. Okay, there is a project called to-do project, so which will just show you how to create a to-do option. So instead of to-do, we can, if you want to change that the model, you can go ahead and change it. Let me just show you by opening this file. Open the project or solution in the desktop, document db quickstart.net. Let me select the solution. So this is your project. Okay, the same thing can be done in the Azure portal as well. Okay, after downloading that, you would have got this one, right? Like the complete project, the controllers. So you can see that there is a code called item controller. When you open that, the complete code is already done. I'm not going to explain you what is this code is all about. This is a simple MVC program, okay, with task parallelism. What we are going to do here is, I'm just going to show you how to work with this particular local database. So if you see that when I open the web.config file, you can see HTTPS localhost 8081, which is nothing but where is that? So this is a URI. Then the next one, if you see, it's a primary key. So that's where the authentication key, and the database that we are going to work with is to-do list database, which will be get created, and the collection that I'm going to work in that is items. So for your information, it is like our database only. In the database we'll be having the tables, right? So here in Cosmos DB they used to call it as a collection. Okay, so as soon as I run this program, everything is done. If you see the model, this is what the model. This is the model we are going to perform a CRUD operation: ID, name, description, and completed. And they have written the code. You people can just go through this code. When I try to run this application, it's going to persist the data. Okay, this is your DB emulator, and I'm trying to open the application which we have downloaded. You people, instead of that item, you can change it to an employee or product. Any entities you can change and work, and you need to do the changes accordingly in your project. So this is a demo application which is provided. You can see that list of to-do items, nothing is there. Create new. So I'm just saying complete Azure. In description, complete this session, complete this VC session tomorrow. So something like that, the description, and it is a completed. No, let me create that. So you can see that very easily you can work. You can just do a edit by tomorrow. So save it. You can see that, you can just see the details, and you need to see how it is getting stored in the local database. So when you go for the emulator, you can see there is an option called Explorer. When I click Explorer, I refresh. So here you can go ahead and in the settings, we can just do some settings here. Like you can see here, items, to-do list, database. In this we have items. In that item, item is a collection of documents, which is nothing but a record. So when I click that, you can see this is the first record. Okay, so you can go ahead. In fact, I can create another one. Okay, complete Angular. So the description is complete this VC session, and it is already completed. Let me create it. And if you say refresh, just a minute. Let me refresh. Yeah, you can see that record here. I don't know why it is not coming here. You should see this when I refresh this. Details, back to the list. Why it is not getting displayed? We need to see. But if you see that, we have this complete Angular. And right now, I told to you, we have multiple API models. So since I have selected the SQL API, you people can just write the code very much similar like your SQL server. You see that query, select star from that particular collection. So the collection is this one. So when I use that, we'll get this. So we can just try to use that SQL API. We have used the SQL API so that it displays this, and it supports MongoDB API as well. So whichever API you want to work with, you can go ahead and connect it. And by default, if you see the code, so they have some codes which is used to get the item, delete the item. So this is common. Only changes we are supposed to do here is this items. So instead of this model, if you want to do something else, you can go ahead and change it and work. And if you look at the item controller, probably there is a mistake in this view all, I guess. Delete, and in the detail, only one record. Okay, where is the method where we have all the records? Get item. Okay, if you see that, only the completed records it is getting displayed, not completed alone it is getting displayed. So that's the reason it is not getting shown there. For example, let me just try to add the record which is not completed. The completed record, it's not displayed. See here, only the record which is not completed, that alone it's getting displayed. So in that way they have written that code. You can just go ahead and change that later. So now I'm adding one more record. Complete Angular file, description something, and it is not completed. Let me create it now. You can see that here. Once it is completed, in that way they have written the code so that it is not getting displayed. So you can just go ahead and go through the code and understand that nothing but some TPL code. Okay, you can just change this from the entity items to whatever entity you want to work with. So if you see the code, it is almost similar like your ASP.NET MVC controller with asynchronous coding. You can see that same thing will be there. So model state dot is valid. So these are all ASP.NET MVC code. You people can just go through that. And similarly, if you are a Java programmer, you can just take the Java code and then try that out. So we have seen how to do this with the local emulator. Okay. Now, if you want to do the same, or if you want to use the database Cosmos DB, which is there in the Azure, what we are supposed to do is very simple. Let me just go ahead and create the same. Right now we are using the local one, right? So in the local, if you see the Data Explorer, if you look at this emulator, URI is this one, primary key is this one, right? Once we and the database is what to say, items is the model, and sorry, items is the collection here, right? You can see that in the web config file. So to-do list is the database and items is the collection. So you can go ahead and create whatever you want, and it is not mandatory that it needs to have a schema. That is the interesting part. So when you are trying to create another record, for example, let me just try to show another record. This time I'm not going to follow any schema. Let me create it directly here through an explorer. Okay, is it stopped? Since the application, okay, click explorer. So in this item, so we have 3 records, right? So I'm just going to see one of the record, take this one of the record, copy this, and the next record, it's not mandatory that it should follow the same. So when I click new document, okay, so it should have an ID. I'm just giving some ID here, some random ID, and then I'm just giving name and gender. But what you need to understand here is, if it is a collection, it should be of that same fields, but the field can changes. The field can be ID here. If you, okay, I'll just pick up that one. Okay, I copy it. This is auto-generated stuffs for the internal purpose of Cosmos DB. They are maintaining that, but I'm going to create a new document once again, but this time look at the key. I'm just changing the key to something else. Instead of 86, I'm saying 90, and the name completed. Then I want to provide one more. This is possible in the NoSQL databases. So in this, I'm just saying the what to say, like created by or author or trainer. I can add one additional field in a JSON format. So I can save this. So there are 4 records. And when you try to run this application, you will get that 4th record as well. So if it is running, I think I have stopped it. Yeah. So we got that 4th record. But in that 4th record, you are not getting that. For that, you need to add the author column. Where you need to add the author column, just go into the code in the items, just ensure that you have one more column, and that needs to be displayed. So what I expect is like after completing this exercise or after learning this concept, you people can just give a try. Instead of this item, convert this into an entity called employee with ID, name and department, and then you try it out. Then you can learn this Azure Cosmos DB with local emulator. Okay, good. Now it is working in the local. I want to use this in the Azure. I want to just take the database from Azure. In order to work with Azure, you go back to the portal. Okay, let me close this. So you can practice everything locally first. Once everything is good, if it seems good, then you can try out with the real database in the Azure. So to create the Azure database, so we need to go into this create a resource, or else you can even just go for the database. In the database you can see Cosmos DB, Azure Cosmos DB, click. Okay, so resource group, let me create a new resource group called DBRG, and price wise it is very less when compared to the Microsoft SQL Server. DBORG, and account name I'm just going to give CGIND Cosmos DB. So it should be unique across the, okay, that's the instance detail. I think it should be unique, I guess. So can I give Capgemini? It's accepting account name. Nobody has created it. Okay, let it be a sample. I think it is accepting. It is not unique, I guess. So let me just go with CGIND itself, CG India Cosmos DB instance name. That's an account name that I'm going to create. And I told you that we have many API. It supports multiple API. In that emulator, you have seen the core, which is a SQL API. If you are not interested with that, you can go with MongoDB API, or else you can use the Cassandra API to insert the records and all. We can use that API. So whichever API, the core is the default one is SQL. Okay, so code wise you won't have any major difference. You can see that here in the item controller, where is that, in the document DB repository they have written that code. Look at that, they are just taking the database name, collection, remaining things is going to be completely the same. Okay, but to retrieve the records through query, if you are querying it and retrieving it, we are using that core SQL. If you see select star from that particular collection we have given, right? So if you are not interested with that, you can just change it. But most of the people in the development, they used to go with this core SQL, which is a default one. And the location, I'm just selecting as West Europe. Okay, then if you want to review and create it, you can create that. Yes, I'm okay with that. Let me create it. Once the resource is created, you will be there is an option called quick start is there, where you can go ahead and download that collection, whatever collection you are going to create. By default they will provide that items collection only, and if you want to change that, you can go ahead and change it. Instead of items collection, you can create another collection and work with. You will see that as well. So the deployment is completed. You can just go to the resource. When you go to the resource, by default it will just place in the same place wherever you have this one. Like if you see .NET Core, Xamarin, Java, Node.js, Python, once again you can just download that code and you can just change the entities and start working. So to make it very easier, they have provided it, and by default they are saying that please add a container called item container, and let me just add that container first. Okay, and you can use the Data Explorer to do that work. Click Data Explorer, which is almost similar like the way we have seen in the emulator. You will get the same thing. So look at this. And if you want to work with that, only one thing we are supposed to do is we need to just go to the settings part. Here they are giving that settings, but I want the connection strings. This is setting, container, document explorer. So this is Data Explorer. But I want to get the connection strings. So to get the connection string, probably we need to go to the concept called keys. Do we have anything called keys? Yeah, here. You can see that when you click the keys, it will give you the detail. And the only change we need to do in our program is very simple, because the items collection, everything is same. So I'm copying this, go back to your code. So instead of the local URI in your web config file, so the endpoint is there, right? I'm changing the URI to this one, and the authentication key, and I'm just taking that authentication key and paste it here. And save this. Since we are using the same to-do list and items, it's going to be same. And in fact, if you don't want this item, just if you want to change it, you can always go ahead and change these names. And if you want to add one more property, we can add it. Like I want to add one more property called author, okay, which is a string. So let me just add that. And we need to have it in your views as well. So then only this will be available to you, otherwise it won't. So look at the changes what I'm going to do. So I'm just saying author. This is one extra field. Once this is added, and this is how it needs to be, because it is in JSON format, right? So JSON format, it should have the properties in the camel case. So you can see that is completed, author, everything is done. So you need to do the changes in your views. Go back to the views part in the item. So whenever you are creating it, just normal CS/HTML code, nothing special. I want the author name as well. So let me just take that after before completing. I can copy this part. Paste it. And in fact, the best option is just try to build it, so that we'll get that IntelliSense here itself. Let that get built. Okay, so wherever you have description, just change it to .author. So when I add the record, you will be having the author. And same way, when I display it, we should have that. So view solution explorer. Just copy these two things. Author. Yes, so save it. And one more thing, in the edit, just in the view part, we are adding that. And guys, this is a very simple program. When you have an application, that will be completely different. For that, you need to get more into this programming of Cosmos DB with ASP.NET MVC. So I'm just providing you the idea of how to create a collection there, how to establish the connection string, how to start with the quick start template which has been provided by the Microsoft Azure. Okay, so finally index.html. I need that the author name. So like this, you can just change the entity to your own wish, but ID is must. Other than ID, you can have anything. Item dot author. So save it. Now I'm going to connect with the real database. So I think the remaining things are common, no change. So it's taking the database name and the collection from the web config file. And this time it's going to communicate the cgind cosmosdb.documents.azure.com in the port number 443. Okay, that is a HTTPS port. So let me just try to run this. So as of now, there is no record, right? So we'll try to add one record. Yes, you can see that author. Let me create a new record. You can see that. So the name is complete the Azure description, complete this VC session by tomorrow. So author name is Karthik and I'm not completing it, so create it. How when I edit it, it's a green display. No, I think it is not getting saved. Details, this author is blank, so probably we have missed that in some code. Let me check. We have added it here, probably in the item controller. So when you're creating that record, okay, we have not binded it here. Bind that field author. So while creating and similarly while editing, for deleting it's not required. Okay, save this, run. So once again, I'm just giving complete Angular file. In this VC session, author is Karthik. So it's completed, no created. So you can see that, and you can edit it. Instead of Karthik, I'm just changing it to Karthik Muthukrishnan. And it is completed so that it should not be displayed there. Yeah, it's done, and you can see that in your database. Go back to the Data Explorer. So we have got the items. So there will be two items are there. This is a container. In this container we have two documents. So the first document, the document that we have created first, then second document which is been added last. You can see that. And there are a lot of other things are there. In particularly, if you want to discuss with Cosmos DB, once again there are a lot of things needs to be done. But I given you an idea of how to work with this Cosmos DB in the Azure platform. So that's it about this Cosmos DB.